Oh, here we are, Noodles and me going for our noonday walk. Current temperature here in Oshawa is 23 degrees and the weather is sunny. But what I find really frightening is the oscillation from 13 degrees last night to 23. That's 10 degrees. That's climate change, people. That's climate change. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Code red for climate change. Code red for climate change. Oh my God. The wind is picked up. We now have breezy conditions. Code red for climate change here in Oshawa. See this? Oh my God. From a purely scientific point of view, I am really concerned right now, because when you take a look at how much did Noodles just contribute to the carbon problem that we have in this world just by pooping. When you consider that carbon dioxide, oh my gosh, it's like 0.03% of the Earth's atmosphere, and then the human contribution of that is a sliver of 0.0011 or 3% of that sliver. From a purely scientific point of view, I'm just wondering how much Noodles just contribute to our climate change problem. Here we are on the last part of our walk, and we've accomplished many things in discovering the science behind climate change. It almost goes without saying that climate change has pretty well been with us since the Big Dung theory. Remember, they call it the Big Bang theory, but I think it was more of a dung. It had more of a dung sound to it. So I call it the Big Dung theory. But climate change has been going on ever since then. Can you imagine how horrific climate change was back then, with all those masses of gases and everything bubbling and boiling all over the surface of the Earth? Oh my gosh. And then there was climate change when we had those ice ages and those dinosaurs disappeared. That was massive climate change. So for our scientific experiment today, we are asking the question, is climate change man-made? Or is climate change man-made is our hypothesis. For our method, we dumped all of the historic data on climate change, and we went for a walk and we noticed what happened locally, and we started to take into account the anthropogenic, or the human CO2 contributions, and we even considered the methane gases released from animals, and we dumped all of that into artificial intelligence. Our observations were incredible. When you first take a look at all of the historic data, the amount of climate change that occurred in nature was absolutely phenomenal. And the amount that Noodles contributed was really small. And when you take a look at how corporations would benefit off of algorithm, that's the current trend of the scientists these days, is to work for certain corporations. But the most noticeable aspect of our scientific experiment was the anthropogenic, or the humankind's contributions of CO2. When you look at that, CO2 itself is very minuscule. It's a hairline within nitrogen and oxygen within our atmosphere. It's a 0.04%. And then from that, the anthropogenic aspect of CO2, the humankind contribution of CO2 is 0.0011%, or 3% of that hairline. And you have to ask yourself, how much of an effect can a hairline within a hairline actually have? So we have concluded that climate change is indeed real, but there's a lot of money to be made, and there's some very big ball players around there. Like Al Gore's got some big balls, I would say, and I guess Trudeau has some big balls as well too, because he's involved in a lot of these climate change initiatives that are extremely expensive, and. So yes, climate change is real. It happens since the beginning of time, and humankind's contribution is excuse me. Well, well, Noodles, should we finish our walk? Yeah.